Okay, let's see. I got my new video, my new phone. Today I came outside. I want to do a video. I'm here where I did a lot of ministry. This is the little police station that they have in Flower Bluff right over here. I'm going to tell some stories today. This little strip I'm walking on, Waldron Road. I want to greet you all today. It's a new phone, so hopefully it'll work good. Came up here because I just wanted to give some stories. I've been around here a lot. This is the Parker Park in Flower Bluff. A lot of the ministry is done right in these areas. These last few weeks I've been getting with some of my guys. Now, right at the end of this road here is the Naval Air Station, where I got kicked out of the Navy, even though I was not stationed in Corpus Christi. I was a corpsman, a medic, and so I was stationed in Kingsville at the dispensary, the clinic. And when you get kicked out, you go to your captain's mast, your Navy people. And so my CO, the guy that was in charge of us, was at the hospital. They used to have a hospital here at the Naval Air Station in Corpus. I've been getting with the guys for a few weeks, so I wanted you to see where the police station is in Flower Bluff, right there, if you can see it. I wanted you to see how close the base is. I could walk to the base. It'd be 10 minutes, maybe 12, 15 minutes, I'd be at the base. My friends that are here many years in this area, they were telling me a while ago that the DEA is here. The DEA has been coming right here. This is a little park. There's the police station. There's the park where Brother Ray feeds all the homeless. And two black ladies from the DEA are showing up. This might be for about maybe a year now. They're asking all questions. They told my friend they've never seen, if it's right, so much criminal activity with cops. They're stationed here. The lady, as a matter of fact, he ran into her right over there at HEB. I'm not sure how long ago. He was seeing, this is not undercover. I could talk about this. That's why I want to tell you what happens here. They got stationed. The federal government put a bunch of DEA agents right down the street, drug enforcement agents, and they stationed them at the base. There's an article in the paper that they're going to do that. Now, my friend thinks he's not a drug guy. He's an older man who used to be a reporter, but he knew some of the Ronald Reagan people. He was in Chicago, worked with radio stations. Interesting story. It's an older man, and he's just been here for maybe a few years. But he ran into this nice black lady here at Brother Ray's, right down the street, when they feed on Sunday. Brother Ray does a homeless ministry called Church Without Walls, and every Sunday at 2:30, he feeds the homeless here. And everybody that watches these videos, of course, you're all welcome to come. He'd be happy for people to come. And I visited Brother Ray a few times, helped him put up the chairs for the guys and all. But the black lady that my friend ran into, he said when he first met her, she was very intelligent, very knowledgeable. He knew she wasn't the average homeless person. And then one day at HEB, he seen her. And he said, "What is it that you do?" And she pulled out her ID. Drug Enforcement Agency. All drugs going on in this place. I can take you to my properties owned by cops that are medical properties. I reported this. She said, "How can you get this? It's all reported. It's on my website." Reported it, wrote. Hardest thing in the world is to get cops to quit being criminals. Hardest thing in the world. Because you report those crimes to their friends when you report those crimes. At any city you're in the USA, you're going to report it. But this DEA lady took out her ID. And my friend was shocked. And she said, She's here like me, doing ministry. She's one of the new ladies that's stationed at the base, right down the street. She's all interacting here, asking a lot of questions about involvement with law enforcement and drug associations and meth houses and every illegal activity under the sun going on. Never put an end to it. And my friend was surprised that she was doing that. And he found out she's trying to help the girls that are on the streets, the girls that are having problems with drugs, doing ministry, this lady. And I told my friend, I said, I think I was a little more non-conspiratorial in the sense that I said, well, they probably stationed the DEA out here because we're very close to Mexico. A lot of drug trafficking comes in from here. But he says, no, they're asking questions because local police departments do not police themselves. I won't even tell the most recent story because I'll stick with the other ones. You report crimes to people that you work with. And I had a friend here many years, right here, who used to buy alcohol. I used to buy alcohol right in this store here. Many years. He's a friend on Facebook. I won't say his name. He watches all my stuff. He was a homeless friend. He was in there buying beer one day, and that cop came in. Right in the store. Arrested him. Did illegal stuff. He thought he was going to maybe report it to the Internal Affairs. He said, they'll come after me, John. You know, in Staten Island, I'm going to be in New York in 2 weeks. Staten Island is one of the boroughs of New York. You get the 5. There's a homeless friend right there, Jesse. Hello, Jesse. Happy 4th of July. I saw another one when I was coming out. It's Jesse. They call him NASCAR. He used to work, Jesse. He lost his wife, I think, to cancer. He became on the streets. Became a severe alcoholic, Jesse. My friend thinks the DA are here to investigate these guys. Right there. That's what he thinks they're here for. And they're asking a lot of questions. So you have a lot of the guys here, all around here. Those meetings you've seen me do in Flower Bluff, they're owned by a cop that used to work here. I think they moved him out because of me. They got him out of this place here. Owned by a cop, meth houses, drug deals. How do you know, John? Jeez. I had friends, I did the meetings there. It's common knowledge. You know, go buy meth, go to the cop's house, buy meth. Disgrace. Disgrace. Common knowledge on the street. Staten Island, they arrested that family again the last few days. The family of the guy who took the video of Eric Garner when they were killing Eric Garner in New York City. That Pantaglia, whatever he is, cop. So the kid who took the video, they arrested him, they arrested the family, they're driving by the house. They're in Staten Island right now, just last week. Those guys are terrorists driving by that lady's house, the mother, putting spotlights in the house. Terrorism. Pursuing those people like that. Riding around having guns in your vehicle when you don't discipline your own department. What do you call that? Call that law enforcement? I had friends here over the years, right? Many years, not one story. They'd come here, stabbings, rape, whatever. They could not get anybody to come to the door. I'm not going to go check. This is called a substation. They could not get somebody to come to the door. They would say, you could be banging on the door. They had a bank robbery down here 3 weeks ago, a month ago, unsolved. It was in the Bluff. I think the guy, I read the story, I read the news. I think he went right out of one of these side streets. Unsolved robberies, the murder rate, they finally reported, it's 12. That's high for Corpus Christi. Might be more. It's double. It's July 4th, right? It's double the murder rate than it was last year. And the local media was not going to report the number anymore. Why is it off the rails? I had a friend of mine come here from out of state. He was here, he's a friend now, I didn't know him. He was here for 2 weeks. He said he's never seen, they warned him about corruption, criminal activity. Watch out for this guy, the cop. Officers of the law warned about watch out. They'll threaten you, they'll come in. Illegal activity. Why do you think the crime rate is the way it is? You allowed that shit to go on in your own department for all those years? That's why it's like that. You local media, you want to correct these things? You want to have a good opinion of Corpus Christi? Mayor, I see the mayor when I go to the Catholic Mass on Sunday, she's in there. I'm sure she doesn't know me. What is her name? Nelda Martinez. I should title this Corpus Christi, Crime Capital of the USA. You say, oh, you're hurting the tourism. Fix it. Fix it. You want me to take you 918 West Lakeside, right down the street, owned by a cop that works here, dealing drugs left and right 24 hours a day. 20-something effing years. You going to fix it? Or you going to just keep going on like that? Threatening people that are going to report it. Guys coming from out of state, California, here 2 weeks. First thing they're told is, watch out. One day I'll slip and I'll give you the big crimes. What's the worst crime you can imagine? You think all deaths are reported in this city? You're nuts, John. I'm not nuts. You have homeless guys over the years that, for various reasons, whether it's gang activity or other activity, that are taken out and killed, and they're not reported. They're not. So, we got the DEA station right down there. We got the black, sweet DA lady I've not met yet. Talking to my friend who goes right over here. We got the cop station right here, and she's asking, never seen it like this. According to my friend, never seen crime and corruption and all this activity. You say, are they justified riding around with guns in their vehicles? Not until they police themselves. So you get corruption out of your own house. Judgment begins at the house of God, but what will the end be for those who obey not the gospel? Everyone gives an account for the things that are done in his body, whether it's good or bad. You say, oh, don't you calm down, John. We're going to change. This has changed forever here. You say you're going to take him out of the bluff for a while. Shut the meth house down that he runs. 918 West Lakeside, right down the street. I can walk to it. Shut it down. Stop the meth dealing out of that house. How about that? Would that be too much to ask? So on the 4th of July, Independence Day, I had a couple funny stories I want to tell. Pops was in the military back in the day when they used a lot of chemicals, many years ago. And Pops has some type of a disability case when they were using chemicals, and I don't know how much, is true or not, but Pops has told me stories. He had experiments. Either way, he's got something going on. So I kid Pops. My daughter made the gravestone for Charlie. And Pops likes the gravestone. So he tells me, have her make me one, John. I'm like, Pops, you're not going to die yet, And he kind of jokes around. He's got a sense of humor. Pops says, might be cops showing up for work here. Who knows? Got no idea. They park here, show up here. So Pops says, on my little stone, he says, I want your daughter to make one, but I want on the stone, the gravestone, he says, I want a picture of a lab rat holding a big U.S. Navy flag and saying something like, lab rat, U.S. Navy, because he says they experimented on him with all experimental drugs. So Pops is funny. He knows when I'm kidding around. You know, I got this phone. I could tell you the cricket story. I was having problems with the phone for a while. Now I left T-Mobile, went back to Cricket, and got a new phone. I paid $30 for this phone. It's like a $200 phone. You got $30, and I've already test recorded on it. Everything is like 100% better than the $500 Alcatel phone. But I called up, and I was at the ranch, and I wasn't getting reception, and my daughter was like, "I'll call T-Mobile for you." I'll call T-Mobile for you, and she's on the phone talking to T-Mobile. They don't have an office out in Alice or out in Sandia area, Mathis. And I told my daughter, "Oh no, don't even discuss it." She knew I was mad. She didn't want me to talk. I said, no. The only way you solve these is I couldn't find an office that had a manager, and the guy said, "Look, the phone's not working. I've been having problems with it, and this and that." I said, "I need to speak," and then the girl says, "Well, we can't make that decision. We're just..." I said, "Okay, give me the store in Corpus Christi that has a manager, somebody that has authority. That's all I need." Now, I waited a few days, and then I went yesterday and took care of that. And when I went in, I told him, I said, "Look, I'm switching back to Cricket. I've had you guys for a long time, and what I need is a phone with these capabilities. Very quick. They probably thought right away, oh, this guy's, because I said, and I don't have time for a lot of stuff. This is what I need. What's the best plan for this much data?" And so she saw, and I was with Cricket for many years. But I told my daughter, because when she was trying to help me with it, I said, no, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to expedite this. When I got on the phone with T-Mobile to switch the number to Cricket, the guy, of course, and why are you trying to leave? I said, "Look, I don't have time to talk to you. I need to expedite this now. I've had enough problems with you. Let's end this as quick as possible. Here's the question." We're done. Switch the number. Many years ago, my wife, I thought of a Navy story too. Many years ago, my wife came home. I think it was a military check. I think she was still in the Navy at the time. She was mad. We were living in Kingsville, 1980s. She came home upset. It was payday, and they shorted at the bank. I think it was a State Bank of Kingsville, one of my first banks, a small community bank. And at the bank, they didn't pay her the whole check. They made a mistake. The poor cash lady, drive-through window, shorted her $200, and that was maybe half the check at that time. My wife came home. She was upset. I've always been like this. So what happened? Oh, they didn't give me the $200, and I talked. They said, "There's no way. There's no way. This has happened a million times. Whenever the lady at the register makes a mistake, the only way we can correct it, its policy can never be changed. You wait to the end of the day, and at the end of the day, we count all the money, and if you're correct and the lady made a mistake at the window, we'll give you your money." So their policy is you got to wait. The customer should always be right. So I said, I got in the car. "I'll be back with your $200. "Oh, you can't. I've tried. I'll be back with the $200. So I go to the bank. Let me talk to the guy in charge. I don't need to talk to any of these ladies here at the desk. I was probably 23 or 24. Manager comes out. "Can we help you, sir?" I said, "Yeah, this is the problem. You shorted my wife. We need the $200. I don't like your policy. Policy is wrong. I'm challenging the policy. You give us the $200 that she says you shorted her, and at the end of the day, if we're wrong, we come back and pay you. How about that?" Can't do it. It's impossible. We've had this happen millions of times with owners of the ranch or whatever. We've never done it for anybody, and so you can do it for me. Where's your president? It's a small bank, so the guy's there. I forget his name. Older guy in a suit. "Yes, sir. He wants to talk to the president." "Oh, okay." I went in. I said, "Well, I understand your policy. We'll get to the chase. Your policy is this. If there's a mistake, it's going to go to, wait to the end." I said, "I'm challenging that policy, and this is my policy. I've been a customer with you for a long time. And if you don't give us the $200, which I think is the correct thing to do right now, instead of making my wife wait till the end of the day, I said, if you don't give it to us, My policy is I go to the Kingsville Record, the paper, down the street, and I write a big thing about your policy. And to let everybody in Kingsville know that when they make mistakes, they hold your money to the end of the day. And the bank person looked at me and said, called the manager in, give this fine gentleman his $200. That bank manager was mad because the policy changed. The lady at the thing was mad. John, when you got home with the $200, was your wife happy? She was mad. They said they swore they did it for you because you're a man. Everybody was mad. But I got the job done. It's your job to speak out. I quoted that verse the other day I gave it to you from Jeremiah. God will raise up a righteous branch. He will execute judgment and justice. It's talking about Christ, the prophecy of Christ. God's concerned with judgment and justice. I heard all those stories. DEA right down the street now. The black girls coming, asking questions. Never seen corruption like this, right? I won't tell you the other story. I'll wait for that other one. Many years ago when I was in the Navy, I'll tell this one, not the other one. I was stationed in Great Lakes, Illinois. I tried to show you guys the other day. I got a tattoo. It didn't show up because of the phone. I don't know if I could show it. But I got a tattoo in Lake Geneva. But I was stationed there in 1980 for boot camp. And I liked boot camp. Oh, I can't light this cigarette. And had a guaranteed A school, which is a school where you're going to train. They guarantee you're going to get a school. So when I got out of boot camp, I was going to be a corpsman. And there were two schools that you can go to for that. One was in San Diego, California, and the other was in Great Lakes. But I didn't want to stay back in Great Lakes, Illinois, because I was there for boot camp. And the guy, my company commander and all, he knew I was upset because I wanted to go there. But I stayed in Great Lakes for the course school. I think it was 2 months. It was like equal to paramedic training, but they call it corpsman. Because later when I got on the department and did all my medical stuff, I used some of those hours for certifications, upgrading and all. Let me light this. So I had a good, he was a first-class petty officer, and he was our commander for the Corps School. My hair well. And he was a nice guy. And one day we went out. We went to one of the bars there. I don't know if it was the bar on base or one of the clubs. But we were the only guys that had girls with us. That is, there were girls that were also in the Navy that were at that A school there, the corpsman school, and there was Marines also there. Marines took some of their courses there, but the Marines, they have names, you know, for the us and them. And I realized there was friction between the Marines and the corpsmen, a little bit, at least at that place. And we were at a club, and I used to drink. I drank Schlitz malt liquor in the can. And I would drink. I got drunk a lot. I didn't remember that until many years later. And we were sitting down, and my first-class petty officer was with us. And a bunch of Marines came over to us because we had girls at our table. They were going to be tough. And I was young. These guys were older than me, but not much, 27 or something. I was, you know, we were like I was 18. But they were Marines. Maybe they were a little closer. But they were drunk. They'd come over to our table. Look, you know, all of that stuff was, I'm not ever good with any of that stuff. But I remember this. And they started stuff with us. And they were jealous because we had the girls with us. And then one of the guys, he got the beer, and he was sitting ready to pour it over the head of my first-class petty officer, right there. And he was just sitting there. He was going to let it happen. They were like trying to intimidate, but I got up And I grabbed him. I said, that's it. You can't go no further than that. Who the hell do you think you are? He stopped. I said, what do you think? We're going to sit here and let you do it? You started it. You want to do a big bar fight right here on the base? I don't care. I got kicked out anyway later. But he stopped. Sometimes you just got to say, that's it. Who the hell do you think you are? You don't run. You don't break every law on that. You get away with that. Isaiah says, I have raised up one from the north, from the rising of the sun, he will call upon my name. He will come upon princes, that's authorities, as upon water, and the coastlands will wait for his law. He will not fail, nor will he be discouraged, until he have set justice in the earth. Micah says, he has shown thee, O man, what is good and what the Lord requires of thee, how to do justice and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God. There's another friend, Don. All my homeless friends is Don. They call Don Metalhead. The guys see me out here a little wired. They ain't coming up to me. I saw Lance down the street. Many years in this place. Many years in this place. And all of this, none of these things, that's Don. You can see him. None of these things were secret. I bought Don lunch the other day. That was the beginning of me getting back with the guys. I was at T-Mobile in the Bluff, and Don was outside, and I was glad to interact with my friends again. John, can you buy me something at Burger King? Yes. Then I ran into Jesse, Lance. I saw Lance. He's sitting up there, but I didn't have time to stop. So on Independence Day, we want righteousness and justice in nations. I saw last night on the news, I saw James Earl Jones reading a historic speech from Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass was one of the black slaves who escaped to the North and became an advocate. He joined the white abolitionists who were printing newspapers. That one guy was a firebrand, a prophet, I forget his name, some white guy. I wish I could remember, but he joined with him, and they had this whole movement to free the slaves. Justice. Martin Luther King Jr., right? Let it roll down. He was quoting scripture. Justice. He read the speech from Frederick Douglass. I wasn't aware of this. Frederick Douglass was invited to give a 4th of July speech. Boy, he tore him up in that speech. He says, you expect us. Famous speech. I've never seen it before. James Earl Jones was reading. You expect us to rejoice in your independence. You brought us here as slaves. Took us against our will. Raped our women, killed, did all these despicable things. Then you rebelled against the crown yourselves. And then you call... Speak the truth in love, but speak the truth. So today I'm riled. I had no idea I was going to come over here. So beware. Remember that. You want Corpus Christi to be wonderful. All these guys are retiring. They're lucky some of them are lucky if they don't do prison time. They should retire, resign, go get other jobs. The scripture says, the righteous will remain in the land, but the unjust will be rooted out of it. It says, I have seen the wicked in great power spreading himself like a Green Bay tree. Real estate all over, drug deals, meth houses, great power, but yet he was not. So today, that's mad today. I think I cursed on this one. I'm not joking with anybody. I'm not making fans doing this. So, that's your update. July 4th, whatever time it is, 8 in the morning. The black DA lady, never seen the stuff like this, she says. Asking questions. God, I liked that verse the other day. It says, I'm going to raise up a righteous branch. It's going to execute justice, judgment. That's a part of us. We are to call to those things. Independence, we have it from Christ. His death freed us. So today, that's it. I bless you guys. I think I did 30 minutes. It's a new phone. People are looking at me. They already think, God, this guy's nuts. Now he's walking around shaking his hand. Beautiful day. Receive ye the Holy Spirit. I'll give you that blessing. Receive ye the Holy Spirit today. God bless.